Good morning, everybody. This is Max Farrell from DexFXCopy.com, and today is February 26, 2018, and this is your daily update. Well, good morning, and I do hope this finds you well. Today's update, I don't want to make too long, but I also want to inform you of a few things that have been going on. These daily updates are meant to be, first and foremost, to give you an update of what the company is doing with the bots and how well they're doing. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. But before I do, I want you to understand that when we there's three things that we do. We back test, we forward test, and we live test. Okay? When we back test for over 2 years. Okay? That means that we use all the data from 2 years ago to test the bots to see if they even will remotely resemble something profitable. And if they do, we begin to forward test with the pairs. Now we choose about 30 assets and we test them all out. And then whatever assets can survive that 2 years, we bring them over into the forward test. Usually between 7 to 10 assets go into this forward test. Okay. Once that does, we filter it out into another process. We call this forward test the alpha. We call the next part the beta. And then we filter out into a final solution called the omega, right? So this would be the Odin alpha, the Odin beta, and then, of course, max prime. Now, when we do this, we test these things out without news filters, okay? Without news filters and without what we refer to as the Sunday gap, right? Now, the Sunday gap is real simple. Market goes up. Let me give you a better line. Market is going up. This is on Friday. Okay, 5 o'clock hits. It stops recording. Okay. Now the thing is about Forex, it runs 24/7. Yeah, I know. Weird, right? Then why doesn't it just operate 24/7? Why doesn't just the bankers and the MT4s and the brokers all do it 24/7? What's the matter with them? Be quite honestly, I don't know. But on Friday, market closes, and it's not even really a market. The brokers stop tracking, and the pair secretly keeps doing whatever. Okay? So then when Sunday night opens up again, they start tracking again, there's usually what we refer to as the gap. And you can see it depicted here, where the market had closed up high, and then the weekend it closed, and the weekend started, and it was all the way back down here, sort of returned to that area. Okay, and when this happens, any trades that you're in, if a gap is down here, and let's say you have a stop loss right here, any trades that you're in, once the market opens back up again, boom, you're down here. It'll immediately close out. It'll take but it won't honor your stop loss. It won't honor that process. This is what we call a gap order, right? And if you have something on board, and this is where we made a tiny, I won't say an error, but miscalculation. If the software is holding the stop loss and it's not on the broker, they won't honor. There's nothing I can do. So what happened the other day from Sunday to Monday, or from Friday to Sunday, is that we had a trade on board. I think it was the Audi JPY. And instead of being protected at minus $1.30, okay, it got hit for 47 pips. Why? Because it came on immediately. As soon as it turned on, it was at minus 47 pips, which is like $4.90 for that pair. Okay, and it immediately closed out at $4.90 loss. And I'll show you that here. Right here, $4.60. And that's what happened to this pair. Now, immediately it went into recovery mode, started to we did another win, we did a loss, a loss, a loss, we did another win. But it started to come back around. Okay? So even though that it looks like we're having a bad week so far, we're actually not doing too bad. We have a couple open pairs. Now, one other thing. So that explains the gap. Okay, so what we're doing from now on is that on Friday nights. Now, let me backtrack just a little bit. I do apologize. It seemed very eclectic this morning. Okay, but when we do testing, we test through the gap, through news, through everything. We test straight through it. Okay, and our numbers show that we should have some pretty good success overall. But in these times, it does calculate those kind of things that happen. Sometimes you'll get a pair that'll have a 30-something pips loss on a pair that should be only $1.36 loss at ever. Okay? So on the Grinch, what we're going to be doing is turning it on and off. Now, the Grinch itself is going to stay on, but Max Prime is going to be turned off to accept any trades. And any trades that we have on are going to be taken off Friday night. So if for the Dex Grind, the Dex Grinch, okay? So any of the trades that are Dex Grinch trades can be taken off, or will be taken off on Friday night, and then it'll be turned back on Sunday evening. All right, to avoid that problem. Back testing with current stuff that we just did, we did find that there was an excessive amount of losses that could have increased our profit margin during that back test. And so when we find those kind of things, we can look back and say, even though we were still in profit margin overall, we could have been even more if we would have avoided those situations, which we will be doing now. Now let me talk about one more thing, and then I'm going to sort of take you into the darkness of what we do. There are two pairs on right now that are in contradiction, and that's USD CAD. Okay, we have a buy and we have a sell on board right now. Why? Because the USD CAD here is from the Canon, and this is from the Dex Grinch. Now, it doesn't mean every single bot has to operate in the exact same thing. I put this one on. This USD CAD was allowed to operate through the Canon because we get much more movement from that pair with a high rate of success, right? Was it the Canon or was it the Vader that had that? Yep, it was the Vader that had it. There we go. Yep, there it is. Okay, so sitting at 94%, the Vader had this trade on. You can kind of see right here. Okay, so pretty powerful that we have this pair on, and it's really super vital. Now, this trade cannot lose now. Why? Because I went in and isolated it. Look at this. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to bring it up to here. Okay. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. Putting the stop loss, activating a stop loss in there. So now we have secured 39 pips into that. Right? $2.95. For some of you that have bigger trades on there, that's quite a bit more. Kind of start to make up for the loss of the week. This pair is vibrating at 94% on this system, which is incredible for me. Incredible for all of you as well. Okay? Because if we look at this pair and go, how many times a month does this pair trade? We see 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 times in the month so far. 5, 6, 7. 7 times. 8, 9, and 10. Yep, 10. Looks like 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Yep, 10. Almost 11, but 10. 10 times it traded, and each time yielding out a pretty good margin on there. I mean, if we go back and look at those, You know, we have a 5 pip, a 20 pip, another 5 pip, 12, 11. So not too bad. I mean, we're looking at about a 10 to 15 pip per each. There's another 5. These 5s come in when the pair moves on, and what we do is we secure pips, right? So we move the stop loss up and it secures them. So here, look at this one, 81 pips, okay? Because it keeps traveling on. All right. So as this thing, as the trade comes on, it will move its stop loss up as it moves up to certain amounts, another stop loss. And then if it does come back down, you might get this might be 15 pips, right? Or in some case, if it does that and it comes back down and it grabs out, this might be 5 pips, right? Or if they really track it, might be the 81 pips. Got it? So not too bad. And these are pretty damn good numbers. I mean, if we look at it did 16 trades for 432 pips. It's an average of 27 pips per trade. Okay? So this has been a 270 pip month for that process. Pretty wild, right? All right. And so we have that on the Max Prime as well. So why leave this on here? Why leave the other one on? Why not just take it off? Well, because it does so well as well. Even though that we're into this position, we still might not be in a losing trade. Okay. Let me pull up the USD CAD. We still have some room. So the other one may close out, right? May shut off and close out, and this may drop back down and go into it. So I'm allowing it to fill its destiny. And if it does close out, and we only get 22 pips out of it, then you have to understand that that's what that risk is. That's what that opportunity is. Okay? All right. So I'm very excited. I really do hope that this video pulls us some good profit. I'm trying to pull this in right now. Now, this is going to adjust again in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because or every 30 minutes here. It's going to readjust. Every 5 minutes it readjusts the stop loss just to make sure that we're still in profit margin. It'll probably drop back down here again, but I'm going to keep an eye on it and keep our profit margins pretty strong in here. See if we can keep something good. So this will be about 39 pips in the win here if we can. If it goes something like this. In fact, I think it's going to hit it and close it out right now. I'll move it right to there. I try not to move around because you can get a bunch of emails. They're like, movement of pips kind of thing. So let's see if it's going to. No, I don't want to sit here and watch it. It'll drive me crazy. All right, so we're going to watch some of the other big boys too that we're going to be looking at. Because under the Dex Grinch, we did have some flippage here. But again, still, I mean, the only thing that we really got hit pretty hard on was that Audi USD from last night. Kind of took our numbers down just a little bit on the Audi. The Euro USD, of course, which was on, is now off. We might be looking at a flippage opportunity here too on the Great Britain Pound JPY. But again, I'm still kind of hesitant. It only has about 10 pips per trade. Other than that, everything else is still just kind of vibrating where it was. Simply Forex has gotten into a really weird reversal spiral process. So I'm looking at some good numbers on a reversal for the Euro Great Britain Pound. But again, with the Simply Forex version of it, we're still up for the month, but we just had some nasty bit of business. Again, because we get such great movement when it does move. 41, 55, 60, 16, 100 pip movements, okay, 90 pip movements. I want to see consistent numbers over the next 3 months. That's why I'm sort of blanking out and not letting get it on to Max Prime. Dex Grinch has a tremendous amount of information. I'm not worried about the Max Prime stuff because we're gonna be filtering out only the best of the best. All right, I'm Max. This is DexEffectsCopy.com, and if you want to buy into this process, if you want to get on board, start demoing, make sure that you get onto the Go Prime series. It's $175. Use Dex Effects 25, and it'll knock $25 off your setup fee. Your monthly fee about $47 because you don't even need to use an MT4 or have a VPS or any of that stuff. We completely take care of you for that. It's a 20% fee after the $47. So if your fee is like, if you make $1,000 and you have to pay $200 for that, you minus 47 and it's 153. Okay, so not too bad. All right, I want to see you guys inside, and you have a great day. Hopefully that you'll have a great week of trading week. And as always, trade well.